Subodha Gunathilaka and my UOB number is 2022847. For this assignment, I implement the feedback system for the people and to get the feedback about their health status. This is the questionnaire based system. Now I'm going to run the system and show how it works. This is the server class. Now you can see the server is running. Then I run the interface. First, client should log into the system using their user credentials. If the client doesn't have an account, he should sign up for the system first. So I sign up for the system. The client should fill all the fields because they are validated. If he fills incorrect details, the system informs him about that. If the details are correct, it will store them in the database and the client will be directed to the home screen. If he clicks the Fill the Form button, then system redirects to the questionnaire screen. Then he should answer all the questions in the form because they are validated. All the user's answers are stored in the database. After answering all the questions, he can view his health status. It also includes details regarding the habit you need to improve. Then the client has two options. First one is click the send email button. The client can send the result to their email. It will be important for him to view the results later. If the email is successfully sent, it will show the message. For the demonstration purpose, I am using my Gmail account as client mail address. So let's check my Gmail. Here you can see the mail has been received with the results. The second option uses the chart view button. Using the bar chart, it will show how the other clients have answered the questions. The client may be aware of other users' health habits. The client must submit the public password before viewing the charts. In this way, client can select the question and get the relevant chart. After that, client can log out from the system. Let's see how to implement my system. I followed the MVC architectural pattern to implement this. Here you can see I use some separate Java packages to the client and the server. Also, I have used libraries to establish the connection between the database and the client-server architecture. This is the remote interface which consists of the abstract method. Abstraction can also be achieved with the interfaces. The interface is the parent and the server class is the child. The server class inherits all the methods from the interface. Not only that, the interface extends from the remote class and the server extends from the unicast remote object. Not only that, the interface extends from the remote class and the server extends from the unicast remote object. I used encapsulation in the RMI connection class. The class uses reg and the server private variables. Using the getter and RMI connection method, it can access and update publicly. In the polymorphism, all of this GUI extend from the JFrame class. Everything in the Java is associated with the classes and the objects. I use multiple objects in these classes for developing more manageable code. It was easy to manage multiple constructor methods. This is how I use object orientation in my system. In the GUI, I use action listeners to respond to button clicks. Also, the mouse clicked is used to listen the mouse clicks. In the programming, listeners are categorized. Event listeners. Without event listeners, you can't interact with the system. This is how I used event-driven programming in the system. To achieve the client-user connection, I use RMI. This is the main method that I use to run the server on the local host as the service. This creates the server class object and bind it into the local host as an RMI service. The registry keeps the server path and the server port. In my case, localhost and the port is 1099. The server object keeps the connection of the server. When we use the RMI, we can keep many clients in one system. It was effective and efficient. That is why I used RMI. Also, to generate chart images, I use QuickChart.io external API. Server can request the QuickChart.io and receive the generated chart image URL through the HTTP client. This is how I use interoperability in my system. In the sign up and login classes, username and password get from these fields and send it into the server to check the correctness. After check the data with database, server will respond to the client. And also here, the client should submit the common password to view the charts. These methods provide some protection to the system. That is how I achieve the virtual identity. In this class, I configured the database connection using JDBC driver. This is the database that the system is looking for. Also, I use this code for sending the emails to the client. The system includes object orientation, interoperability, event-driven programming, and virtual identity. Thank you.